6 years service as a Royal Air Forceman, then about 20 years.
24 years as
24 years as
British
a
police.
British police detective.
Yep.
You're a person who are quite logical. You're familiar with how to interrogate suspects, how to check all the details, working with evidence, and now you're an ufologist. You're a person who is running to catch the unbelievable for most of the people.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why I decided to become an active researcher. I had a sighting when I was a child at 16. That stayed with me, but it wasn't until 2002 when I launched an unofficial national database for police officers. That's how I became known within the UFO subject.
Yeah.
One of the spin-offs from that was that I was asked to do presentations at conferences, something I'd never done before, but it's something that I found came easy to me. And I'm trying to reach the person on the street who doesn't have any knowledge about the subject, to say, well, actually, in a small proportion of cases, 3% of all the cases reported, there is evidence that suggests ET are very definitely here.
Working for so many years for this cause, do you think that it's not accidentally but on purpose cover over all these cases that you presented yesterday, that government, airmen people, that wealthy, these 300 families that are owning the world, that on purpose they're trying to make fun of all these.
Yes.
Of all these.
Yes, it stems from America. America have controlled the subject of UFOs really since the Second World War, and in 1953 they set up a panel called the Robertson Panel to debunk the subject. So since 1953 the world has been debunking UFOs, and that's the era that we live in. And what I'm trying to do, and what the other researchers try to do, is to say, well, actually, there isn't so much fun. You know, if you're a pilot and you're chasing these things, I know pilots that have fired rockets and machine guns at UFOs. I've interviewed those pilots. That's very real.
Do you find more and more people who believe in the idea that soon we'll meet the alien life?
Yes, I think there is something happening with the consciousness aspect. I think people are ready to experience official contact, and I certainly think that probably within the next 3 to 10 years we will have official acknowledgement in the mainstream media that ET has existed probably for a long time.
Yes, but it's not logical to think that all aliens are welcome, friendly.
No.
It's quite possible that we could meet a species that will try to erase us.
That's possible, but I think they've been coming here since the Second World War, and if they wanted to, they surely could have. So I think the fact that they haven't means that probably many species come, most just watch, like we would go to the Great Barrier Reef and swim with the fish. We just watch, we don't break off the coral, we just watch. I think most species just watch us, maybe some interaction through the abduction phenomena, but I think if they'd have wanted to take over, they could have, because their technology is far superior to ours. Many of the pilots will attest to that who've had chases with them. But there are things like animal mutilations worldwide. That's not good. There are reported human mutilations. That's not good. So clearly some species probably good, some bad.
One question I asked Professor Philippov, and I would like to ask you and two others on this panel. If there are many facts proving that species from space visited the world for many times.
Yeah.
is it logical to meet them, to get in touch with them, if they left us, the people, the nation, at the beginning of the 21st century, to be on the door of self-extermination?
Well, there's a number of questions there. I think they also worry that we destroy our planet through nuclear war.
Yeah.
I think they may well live in the deepest oceans, have bases, because UFOs are often seen coming in and out of water.
Yeah.
So that would make sense, because they live here too. So they don't want their world destroying as well. But also I think that over the course of the last 50 or 60 years, there's probably been some level of contact with the Americans in the secret world.
I'm sure that not only with the Americans, with the Russians.
Oh yeah, probably
also.
so. Yes. Major, you know, Chinese as well.
But these aliens are far away from us. Let's say billion years maybe ahead. What's happened that they leave, for example, Hillary and Putin to argue, and at the same time the whole world to scare that tomorrow the rockets will start passing the ocean front and back?
I suspect that there is a general protocol that says we don't interfere with the natural people of this planet. A bit like the Star Trek First Contact protocol. Yeah. I think the only time they would interfere is if something were to happen. That would be interesting, because they might say, well, actually, we live here in the oceans as well. Stop this.
Thank you. I rely on your experience with aliens, and hope that when the moment comes and we are at the edge of disappearing, they will come and
absolutely,
save us.
I hope so.
Thank you
too.
very much.
Thank you.